Hey, he he didn't show up again.
Who, Geark?
Yeah, that weird guy that used to sit in the corner and stare at us. I think
I
he's
miss him
gone.
already.
I don't. Not even
I re-
remotely.
I miss my friend Geark. We went
He was,
fishing together. We made cupcakes.
no, you
We
didn't.
drooled together.
That's true.
Yeah. So what's up, Jay?
Not much. Welcome back. Made it home, I see.
Yeah. Tons of snow, man. Tons of snow everywhere. Snow
Yeah,
covered.
Atlanta is snowed in.
Yeah, well, Atlanta is, but not.
I have to drive through Atlanta.
I told you you could go back next week.
No, I can't go back next week. I have things to do.
Uh, I made I'm Christopher, by the way. This is the
I
Grumpy
was
Dungeon Masters.
Yeah, I was trying to say that, and then you kept going.
I had one of our good friends from Shadowmore fill in for you. Hopefully, you watched the stream and he
I
did you
did.
proud.
I had the stream rolling. Yes.
Um, he uh, he redid your entire character at the table, just respecking the whole thing. Like, nope, not this spell, not that spell. And it just goes to show you that some people have a very particular way they want to play things.
Yes. Yeah. Well, that character was built for me, for my play style. It was built. It wasn't even a great character. It was built to be fucking entertaining.
So you want to know about not great characters? Just in case, I went to D&D Beyond and I had it generate a random character at level 5. I let it pick the class, the race, everything. Okay?
Okay.
So it made a Haunted One rogue. Okay? And
That's actually, yeah. Haunted One Rogue is pretty good.
I was like, okay, cool, whatever. I gave it a really cool weapon. I gave it a vicious sword. I gave it a cloak of protection. I didn't look at a single stat on the sheet. And I gave it to um, Ethan's fiance, Journey.
Yep.
Okay, she decided to play, so she was our 5th member at the table. Uh, Somehow, this rogue randomly statted had a 16 in dexterity. Okay,
All right. Well, I mean, it's a rogue. It
right.
should have a high dex.
All right, and then it had an 18 intelligence,
All right. That's a little weird, but yeah. All right.
and then it had an 18 wisdom.
Okay. Now it's really weird.
Also, it was trained in religion, nature, arcana, and a bunch of other stuff that's not sneaking, sleight of hand, or stealth, or acrobatics. Uh, so it was very interesting watching her play this very random character. And
I I think you have given me an idea. Like I really want to do this now. Just play for the next campaign, just a randomly generated character. See what the hell it gives me.
it was bad. It was a bad character.
Well, no, I mean the stats sounded pretty good. The class and archetype are good. So
uh,
sure, the skills were a little wonky, but truthfully, I mean, rogue just means you like to steal shit, or you're a little underhanded. Being trained in religion and what else did you say? Like,
it was like survival, arcana, nature. It was just the weirdest thing.
yeah, I mean it's a weird combination, but maybe they like
Yeah,
learn. Maybe they like learning. They have an
they
18
like
intelligence. They like to learn. They're book smart.
it was weird. Um, but yeah, so I was out at Scarab in Columbia, South Carolina. A lot of cool vendors, a bunch of cool stuff. In fact, I should have brought my little tags over. I met a bunch of vendors, and I want to give them a shout out. All right. So yeah, I was at Scarab Con, and I ran our game, and I went through the vendor hall. And what I did is I talked to each of the vendors that was there that had dice. And what I tried to do is I tried to assemble a set of dice from all the vendors. Just have them give me a single die, and I would hopefully get a full set or close to a full set.
Right.
And I would use that die set live on stream and give them all a shout out. So, anyways, here are the people I'm going to shout out.
Go for it.
So the first one is Rad Dice Gaming. Okay, they just sell gaming accessories and whatnot. Their website is raddng.com. They're also on Facebook at Rad Dyson Gaming. They gave me a D20 that had a smaller D20 in it.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Wait, did they
Yeah.
both roll separate?
Yeah, so like when you rolled it, like both numbers were there. Yeah.
Well, no. Like if you roll it, so the outer die would show up as a nat 20, and the other die could potentially show up as a 3 or a 7 or a
Yeah.
1.
Yeah, exactly.
That's cool.
Yeah. I actually gave it to Journey at the end for playing the game because she wanted it real bad. So I didn't keep it, but it was really cool. So they gave me the D20, so they handled that. Scarab gives away D6s, so I got a full set of D6s from there.
Mhm.
And then I got a D4 from a place called the Dice Hut. They're on Facebook at facebook.com/the Dice Hut. He gave me a D4, which I kept that has like a dragon on it. So like you roll it, and like if it's all dragons, it's a 4.
Oh, okay.
Otherwise, it's whatever the numbers at the top. It
Got
was
it.
really
So
cool.
you now own a Caltrop dragon.
Yeah, and same booth, different vendor. Thematic Dice Bags Productions. Because he sells dice bags. Like I guess one guy sells die, the other guy sells dice bag. But they gave me a D2. It's just like a flat little square, little
Yeah,
rectangle.
I've seen
You
them
flip them.
before.
Yeah, so they gave me a D2. There were a couple other vendors. There was one vendor that we shouted out on the stream too that sold cookies, and they sold health potion cookies.
Ooh.
So one of the players bought the health potion cookie, and I said, "Yeah, if you eat the cookie and shout them out on stream, you can actually use it as a health potion." So she bought 2.
I would like to point out about the D2. We have those
Yeah.
things as well. They're called coins.
Well,
Yeah,
this one
like
says naughty and nice on it too.
oh, okay. Well, actually, for what? Well, I guess save that for Christmas.
Yeah. There was another place, unfortunately, and
Sounds more the description you gave sounds more like a hook horror,
yeah,
but
but it's an egg
yeah.
with like the mandibles coming out and stuff. Um, crap, was it good? There's a monster out there. I can't remember it, but that kind of is. But they sold like holy hand grenades, or just giant dice boxes. They sold like little Furby eggs that were like, or I guess eggs with cat ears, which at that point in time was just a Furby.
Yeah,
And they
pretty much. It's a Furby before it's born.
yeah, it's a Furby egg. So I bought one of those, and we played the game, and it went through well. They succeeded. The bad
Did they guard their ankles?
no, I
Here
so
it
what
goes. Here it goes.
so Journey was playing Rando the Rogue, and that's what I named the Rogue, Rando.
Good name.
She tried to peek around a corner to see the laughing commotion that was going on around the corner,
Mhm.
and she got like a 13 in her stealth, and that does not beat their active perception checks that these Duragard kind of get them. Even though they're partying, they're still kind of like meant to guard that area. So it's not
Mhm.
like passive works. But so I had them roll perception checks, and so versus her contested stealth check, and she failed. I got like a 17 and a 19 on the first 2 rolls.
Sure.
So
Yep.
they immediately knew she was there, went invisible. And it doesn't really matter because the Mind Master to me is always there in the hallway, just sitting there invisible.
Oh, I
So
know.
like
I know
the
all
mind
about him.
master, the mind master's there. So he's hiding behind the brazier. She sneaks back, seeing there's people there. Everyone moves forward. They get these awesome plans together to like lure them around the corner and pop off raided actions. Blah 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 blah. They know they're there. They're already invisible in position, waiting for them to turn the corner.
Yeah.
And so Rando throws out this little tiny ball bearing, and it bounces around and makes some noise. And actually, just as a quick aside, there's an item that's 1,000 ball bearings.
That's a lot
How
of
big
ball
is
bearings. Yeah, these have
how?
to be tiny if there's a
It's
thousand of them.
I believe it's a 2 pound bag. I got D&D Beyond right here. Open.
Yeah,
So let's
that's
see.
more like
Ball
buckshot. Like that's
bearing. Ball. I can spell ball right. I think that has 2 L's. Yeah, bag of 1,000 ball bearings. Equipment. 1 gold piece, 2 pounds. So whenever I've had this discussion with other people, this ball bearing is always like an inch round. Okay, because that's what usually kind of what you think of when you think of a big
That's
ball
what a ball
bearing.
bearing is. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, not
not
necessarily, but that's what you think of.
this is a bag of BBs.
Yeah. That's what I said.
And
It sounds like a bag of buckshot.
yeah, and it's really annoying that they say ball bearings and everyone goes like a half an inch or an inch giant ball bearing and makes the noise because that's what you think of when you think of a ball bearing. You don't think of a BB,
Yep.
you know, because you drop a bag of ball bearings in a square and it makes there's a dexterity saving throw to not slip and fall on the ball bearings.
Right.
Now micro machines in Home Alone are half an inch, and I can
That is
see
actually almost true. I sold some recently. Yeah, they're pretty small.
yeah right, but I can see myself stepping on those and slipping and falling. I can't
Yeah.
see myself stepping on a bag 1,000 BBs and slipping and falling. I
If
can
you
see them getting stuck in my shoe and pissing me off as I pluck them out. But
if you if you dump the entire bag out in a small pile and you step into that pile, yes, you possibly could lose your footing. Not a guarantee, but you possibly could.
now those are half an inch and they're covering the 5 by 5 foot square.
Yeah.
I can see a half inch. I can't see a BB. But so I have problems with the ball bearings. So I kind of I kind of don't mention it at the table because I don't want to fight them because everyone's like, oh, it's gonna bounce around and break a vase. That actually happened in one of my games. We threw a ball bearing at a vase, and they're like, that should break the vase, right? I was like, no, it's a BB.
Yeah.
But
Uh,
it's a ball bearing. Yeah, but
See
it's a
what
BB.
see what you do, and I would probably do this in my own game. Mind you, I've never thought about that until this conversation. But I would say rather than 1,000, it's 100,
Well,
and
and that
you know
so
that makes them closer to a half inch and actually practical.
well, funny you should say that because there's a weapon in the game called a sling.
I
And a
know, right?
sling happens to throw ammunition, which happens to be a small, like half-inch round rock or half-inch metal ball.
Yep, deals a
So,
D6 of damage. I think it's range 60, 120, something like that.
so when it comes to the ammunition for a sling, yeah, you're talking about 100 there, okay? And it's going to be a half-inch ball or an inch ball because you're throwing that rock in a sling to hurt people, you know? So, sling ammo is a ball bearing as well, essentially. And they would basically be the appropriate size to break a vase and actually cause people to slip and fall. Not 1,000 freaking ball bearings. But
No,
then again, I guess you could put like 100 in the sling if you're good enough and like buckshot the shit. But
I I don't see that working in any form or fashion. I just don't.
I mean, if you're trying to get a snake,
You might be able to break a vase with that.
Well, I mean that's what snake shot is BBs.
Yeah. Yeah, I think doing it from a sling is that's probably just not going to work. And when we mention sling, we're not talking about slingshot, which is the rubber band that everybody had as a kid, or at least I did. Like
No,
a sling is a piece of it's a long strip of leather with a pouch on it that you spin around in a circle and you kill giants with it.
yes, when you have a blessed piece of ammunition,
Yeah.
you can
Yes.
kill a giant with a slingshot. Sling. So, anyways, so she throws a ball bearing, and I just let her have it as being like half an inch or whatever, because that's like literally the hand sign that she gave me at the table. Because it's just silly to fight as a DM, but you just
Just
know in
roll
the
with it.
back of your
Yeah.
head, yeah, just like oh god. And by the way, this haunted one rogue came equipped with not only the ball bearings by random chance, but also a wooden stake, holy water, uh, 2 crowbars for some reason. Sounds more like a vampire hunter than anything else to me.
Oh, they were practiced in religion and arcana.
Yeah, they were.
They got their base covered. They hate vampires.
So she tried to throw it and ding to kind of draw them out, but the Durgar is standing right there, waiting for them to turn the corner. So after I told them, like after a minute, you don't hear any sound, nothing happens. So she's like, okay, I'm gonna walk over and pick up my BB. I'm like, all right, it landed in this square right in front of the brazier. He's like, okay. So she stealths over. Doesn't matter. They can see her. And She rolls like a 23. I'm like, okay, it's still good. And then I was like, okay, does a 24 hit your AC? She goes, yeah. I was like, all right, you take 2 damage, and I just the relief is just, okay,
Yeah, here comes
I
the
can,
rest of it, though.
and 28 psychic damage
Yep, there it is.
as you feel a like poke in the back of your calf, and then your brain explodes.
Yep, there it is. Everyone.
And
It's gonna get
and then every
everyone, man.
and then everybody's ready actions goes off. Um, one of the staff members, I like the co-owner or founder, I don't know, her friend Randy for Scarab. He was playing in the game. His ready action goes off. He's like, I'm going to hit the Mind Master. I was like, well, it's 5 feet away. So the best you can do is like throw a weapon at it. He's like, all right, throw my maul at it. All
Oh,
right. So
no.
he throws his giant 2-handed maul at it. And he missed. It lands next to the Mind Master. Then the invisible gnome wizard. It's her turn. She's top of initiative order. It's her turn. She runs over to the brazier and squirts oil over the entire square. I'm like, okay,
Oh, okay. Okay.
okay, okay. The brazier's right there. She's, I don't want to hit the brazier. I just want to coat it in the thing. And then it's Rando's turn. And so she's like, I'm tipping over the brazier. Okay, you tip over the brazier. It lights in the flame. The Mind Master's already gone at this point. All right, it went invisible and moved away. So that square is now aflame. And then it comes Randy's turn. I go to retrieve my weapon. I'm sorry, the weapon that's in the square that's on fire, that just
Uh,
got doused in oil
yep.
and had a brazier spilled on top of it. He's like, yeah, that weapon. Are you sure? He's like, guess not.
No, you have to. I mean, fire is a D6 of damage. Yeah, and I guess you might have, as a DM, had a chance that he gets lit on fire since it's literally oil burning. But you got to get the weapon. You should.
I would have given him a flaming maul if he did.
What were you
But
thinking, Randy? You shouldn't have thrown it in the first place. Carry javelins. That's what
he had no
javelins are for.
he had no other weapon but the maul.
Damn, boot knife, javelin, something. I don't ever play a character that doesn't have some form of a thrown weapon. It might not be much, but it's something.
So they eventually defeat all the Duragar. Um, they're not that tough. Funny enough, I forgot to bring a couple things with me. Even though I had a list and checked everything twice, I still forgot to buy my boom arm or bring my boom arm out there to have the camera hang above the map.
Mm.
Which, unfortunately, the lighting was horrible and was very shiny on the stream.
Yeah,
Um, yeah.
yeah. I mean,
um,
it is what it is. You know, it was sort of a. You didn't have a lot of prep time to
no.
test everything out.
Um, so I had to go buy a boom arm while I was out there, and the only one I found was just this ridiculous amount in price. But
Yeah, yeah. I was
I
like,
I had to buy a boom arm.
where the hell would you even find that at?
Best Buy in the, I shit you not, the streamer section.
Oh, I mind you, nobody has stepped foot in a Best Buy in 5 or 6 years.
And there's only one boom arm that they have, and it's only for Yeti mics.
Oh, of course, yeah.
And turns out Yeti mics uses a different threading size than everything else that's on the fucking market.
Of
So it
course.
was too big. So I had to take the washer off of the Yeti mic and super glue it to the camera mount that I bought as well, and screw that onto the Yeti boom mic so I could hang the phone over the map.
I would have gone with duct tape.
No, I don't think that would have held, honestly. And I don't want to drop my brand new iPhone
No,
on the table
obviously,
continuously. The mic was fantastic though that I bought. I bought a little mic that you plug into your iPhone,
Mhm.
and it records 360 sound.
Yeah.
Specifically, and you can also have like a directional stuff, and there's a bunch of different settings you can do with it. It was a pretty expensive mic for the phone, but the sound was great. I listened to it later. You could hear everybody at the table no matter where they were positioned.
Good.
Um, I have to fix the lighting issue if I ever stream again in the future.
Yeah, yeah. If we do that again, maybe have to bring standing lights or something.
Well, I printed the maps out in semi gloss. I'm thinking maybe if I try printing it out in just like standard matte, if it would not reflect at all. Because I knew high gloss would reflect pretty bad.
Yeah, I mean anything gloss is going to reflect more than matte.
Yeah,
So
I mean the maps look good. They reflected the ceiling lights really bad. So that's live and learn, I guess.
yeah,
Um,
it's a first attempt at something. It'll probably
yeah.
take a few tries to figure it out properly.
So, like I said, overall the game went well. They stopped the Ice Devil from being released, but they couldn't beat um the Duragar master. She got away,
Did they find
and
the hidden dude?
no, we didn't have enough time for that. They did
Oh,
want to, however, it was midnight, and they were like, "We got an 8 a.m. game." I'm like, "Yeah, so we just keep playing until 8 a.m."
yeah, you're at a con. Nobody sleeps at conventions.
The doors did close. The building did close down at 1, so we'd have to
Oh,
leave at least at 1.
oh well, that sucks.
Um, but yeah, it was a lot of fun having all those guys out there. Um, I can't remember half their names. But Randy was there. One of Randy's old friends was there. Like I said, then Jacob Ethan, and then Alicia Callahan, who's another staff member at Scarab, played as
Yeah,
well. And like I said, it was a lot of fun.
yeah.
Um,
It looked like it was fun, and I'm sad I couldn't make it. But yeah, weather happens this time of year.
yeah, weather happens. Um, and so I got back home today. I kind of left early because freezing rain is still kind of bad. I don't want to travel in it.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
But there was no freezing rain at all anywhere. I got home and just kind of hung it around the house, and my wife wanted to watch Eternals.
Oh, okay. So that's what
But
you just got done watching.
that's what I just got done watching, and you shouldn't watch it.
It was really good.
It was not.
Yeah, it was.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
No, it
Yep.
wasn't. Did you watch it?
Yeah, I saw it at the theaters. I quite
You saw
enjoyed it.
you quite enjoyed Eternals.
Yes.
I think you were the only human being that did.
Well, several of them I talked to last night that we game with enjoyed it.
No,
Yeah.
they said
Yeah.
it was not worth the time when I talked to them.
Uh, well, two of the people that we play Overwatch with enjoyed it. One of them has not seen it. So
I
there you go.
It
It's not
is a
just me.
very long movie with a lot of exposition and talking, and a lot of examples of like what not to do when you're telling a story. At least from
The
my perspective.
you are not incorrect, at least for about the first 45 minutes of the movie, because it was kind of all over the place. And Marvel has to understand they're introducing a lot of characters, and these are sort of second bit characters. A lot of people, unless you read those comics, don't know who these people are. So it's a lot of introduction that did go on for too long, I guess. But once it gets past that, the movie really sort of picks up and it goes more into what you expect from a Marvel film.
Well, I don't think it picked up until, and I know we had paused it at this point in time to put down my child for the evening. There's a fight in the forest
Yeah,
at the
let's let's
halfway.
let's let's try not to give too many spoilers because I know some people
There's a
haven't seen
fight in
it.
the forest halfway through the film, like the 1 hour 17 mark, and then like okay, now it's getting kind of interesting. Things are actually happening, and then it's 30 minutes later, the end of the movie begins, and the climax is okay from a fight standpoint. But
Mhm.
I mean, I'm trying to not go to all these Marvel movies just for fighting, and it's the same kind of thing from my D&D. I kind of realize a lot of the stuff that I've written and played is just a lot of like one fight to the next. But
Yes.
like, I mean, that's kind of what it is in a way.
See, I'm trying
I
to. I'm learning to kind of avoid that with my games.
Yeah.
For a one shot, that's what you want. It really kind of is. But if you're running a long campaign, you do need combat. It needs to be mixed in there with the storytelling. The
Yeah.
characters need the downtime. Uh, they need to have long role play sessions to properly feel the characters that they're playing. If all they
Yeah.
do is fight, just one fight to the next fight to the next fight to the next fight, it's not building the characters. It's not creating the world. It's just
Right.
it's a war game at that point.
Yeah, and I'm thinking I'm tend to be always just relapse to, I guess. So I gotta figure out how to avoid that some.
Yeah,
I
like
don't
I will.
mind good fights. I don't mind story in the fights, but like kind of realized that all the stuff I did was just a lot of fights for the one shots, and even the Al campaign was a lot of fights.
Mhm.
And I'm wondering if I can spread that out some because I definitely need to give people more time to sit down and talk.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, and a lot of it is just sort of with the current campaign I've got going on, I've introduced a lot of NPCs. Yeah, there are a ton of them, and they need to talk to them all about different things. They're in the process of trying to create a revolution in a country, so they're bouncing around
wait,
the
with
country.
Aerosmith,
What?
with Aerosmith,
Am I missing something?
Revolution X.
Yep, missing something.
Okay, you're
So
missing something.
anyway, yeah, they have to go talk to all these people. So they spend a lot of time traveling around and talking. I do, of course, I like to have at least a combat per game session, if at all possible. If they're going into a dungeon or something like that, then there may be multiple combats. That might be an entire session or two, just depending how long it takes. But it doesn't need to be the overwhelming thing of the campaign.
Fair enough. And yeah, I guess my issue is like I put a lot of planning into the fights and like the dungeons and everything like that. And then I usually give them like when there's downtime, I'm like, is there anything else you want to do? And like I have ideas like if they go talk to somebody or they go, try to do some parlay with a monster or an NPC or something like that, or like go shopping, you know. I
Yeah.
have ideas. I can definitely run that. I'm kind of waiting for them to engage with it. Um,
Yeah,
because like when I
go
ran
ahead.
through Waterdeep, there was Lord Neverember, and like he pretty much like showed up like clockwork at the end of every beginning and end of every chapter,
Mhm.
you know. And like when he showed up, that's when you could RP without any bad things happening for a couple days,
Yep.
you know. So I don't want that. So I got to find a nice happy medium between the two, you know.
Yeah, like I have a hard time with character downtime as well, and it will depend, I think, a lot on your players. With the group I play with now, I'll say, I'll give them downtime. I'll give them 6 months or whatever, and I get very minimal feedback as to what they want to do.
Hmm.
There it might be, oh, I just want to train this skill or this. When in truth, you've got 6 months. You have 6 freaking months to do whatever you want, and you have a lot of money. You know, go build a business, build something. But that's not what I get most of the time.
I can definitely say that I haven't given them like 6 months of downtime. At
It's
best, they
not
get a
frequent.
week.
Yeah.
At best, they
Yes.
get a week.
Yeah. With the current campaign I've got going on, they definitely haven't had that, but previously in other games they have. But yeah,
So
yeah.
the uh, the joke about the Revolution X that you didn't get. Revolution X is a video game that came out in like 1990.
Mhm. I see the
Uh,
video you just
in,
linked that I will watch later.
in the arcades, and what it is the government has taken over the world, and part of what they've done is they've eliminated music 100% because music controls people's minds and gives you freedom.
Right.
And so then you have to team up with Aerosmith to overthrow the government.
Love it.
And it's
It's
literally Aerosmith. You have to go rescue them and then chase them down and then with them storm like the evil government capital and then use the power of rock to defeat the bad guys.
I'm a little surprised I've never heard of this
The
because
themes the theme song for this game is Eat the Rich.
oh yeah, I know that song. So makes sense. But yeah, I've played So, I mean, I'm very familiar with arcade games that are out there. I'm obviously really familiar with rock music, so somehow this one just managed to slip by me.
Yeah, so you have basically a machine gun that can upgrade to like a laser gun to like a plasma ball gun.
I
Okay.
hope somebody has a guitar that shoots things.
No, no, no. Your grenades are flaming CDs that explode.
Nice, nice. Because CDs, it really should have been vinyl records, but by the '90s, that was not really a thing anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it is now. I
Oh,
literally just
I know.
I just set up a record player for the first time,
How'd
like
that go?
last week. It was horrible. It was more complicated than I could ever freaking imagine.
Shouldn't have been.
It,
You plug it in, you hook up the speakers.
no, no, no. I had to plug it in. I had to hook up the speakers. Like that's obvious, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Flip the power switch on. All right. And I'm not setting up Bluetooth or anything out special. It was just RCA cords. Okay, but then I had to, put on the needle. All
Mhm.
right. Then I had to put on this weight on the back of the arm, and then balance it so it didn't go up and down and stayed at a level angle when another lever arm was up. And then I had to tie on this like weight to a rod that was on the record arm, and then test it so it didn't wobble back and forth when you tapped it. So it was like a
Okay.
counterbalance to keep the arm in place. And then you could take it up and pick it and put it down on the record, and you had to twist it 3.5 times, not 3 1/4, not 3 3/4, exactly 3.5 times. And then the record arm would be in a place where you could just open and drop the lever, and it would play on the record.
Interesting. Yeah, my parents had multiple record players when I was growing up. I don't remember any of that either. But
Yeah, I don't either because the one I got from my father's estate is just put needle on arm, ha ha ha, music.
yeah,
And this one's like, no, 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 you better get out your scale and your abacus there, chief. We're gonna do this the hard
mm,
way. And then somehow, through I shit you not, 36 pages of instructions, set up a freaking record player.
we're going to take you back to how we had to set up record players in 1903.
Do you know your weights and measures? Well, you'll find out.
Yeah, that sounds horrible. I'm glad I'm
Yeah,
not having to do that.
I was sweating, like sweat was dripping off of me because like we had to tie tiny strings around tiny parts, and then like you had to assemble the thing and like pull like little stretchy rubber bands to wire all the gear things together.
What the
Oh my
hell?
god. Yeah.
Were you building this thing or just plugging
You,
it up and turning it on? Because it sounds
you
like you had to build this thing from scratch.
the box did say some assembly required, which was a
That's
fucking
yeah, that
understatement.
sounds like a misnomer there. Some assembly, no, a complete assembly required. Next thing you know, you get out the soldering gun, start putting parts in it.
Place chip A in slot B, and
Yeah,
then chip B in slot A. Why?
that's what it sounded like,
But then I played Bowie's greatest hits on it, and I was happy.
and it
So,
made everything. Yeah, made the world better at that point.
yep, yep.
Ah,
So,
Bowie makes everything better. Let's be honest. He made Venture Brothers better. He made Labyrinth better. He made music better.
uh, so yeah, that was my adventure pretty much in the past, like since we last talked.
Yeah, it sounds like a fun time. Everybody should definitely go to Scarab. Um, I
Next
know.
year.
Yeah,
Well, it's
next year.
still going on tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't think anyone that's not already there is going tomorrow. But
I mean, maybe.
yeah, there'll be other cons that we make it out to this year that I will actually make it out to this year.
hmm
We'll just have to
Um,
figure out when.
I didn't get to hang up my sign. I got my nice big sign. I couldn't hang it up. No place to hang it up.
That
Oh
sucks.
well, maybe next time.
Next time.
I will say it was super fun having all the minis for all the monsters. That
Yeah.
was really cool. I
Yeah,
enjoyed that.
yeah, I actually got to see because I had the stream going. I could see all the minis and stuff. That it's so much more fun with that. Uh,
Yeah.
you know the DM's resources site that we're on. One of the things I really like going through and actually reading on there or seeing is the DMs who I guess they don't do anything at all, but DM. Like, I guess they're not married. They have no life, anything but dungeon master, because these people need the most goddamn elaborate setups. Like this one dude, he had it's probably a 4x8 or 6x8 table just laid out, and the whole thing was just a physical map. Like he
Hmm.
had it was an underground cavern that this guy had built, miniatures and all, the whole way that he was going to be running his players through that weekend. Like,
Yeah, there's a couple companies that make that stuff, and you just have to like assemble it.
yeah,
Um, our friend Johnny, when we were in college, he bought a bunch of stuff like that, and then like it all magnetized together, and like you can make like a cool dungeon. He uses it in all his screenshots for all his Warhammer figurines. In fact, if you looked at it, like some of his pictures that when he made my Shadowmoor figurine and yours, that's
yep,
the same kind of material. He bought most of that. Yeah, he added some paint to like highlight some features and stuff, but that's really about it. But like you can get some crazy people out there who go like full like you know foam core building, like they're building like a railroad track. Because my dad loved doing that, like building railroad miniatures. It's the
yes.
same concept, just to kind of take that and build out your western town.
Yeah, the
Um,
miniature railroad thing has been around for a long time, and once D&D came around, well, I guess it was before that because the miniature war game was around
yeah.
probably in the 50s. But yeah, it's all like the miniatures thing. It's just obscene how much time and money certain people put into this, and I would love to play in one of those games just one time to see it.
I mean, I guess I have, and it's really cool. Um, Mike Krahulik, right? The artist
Uh,
for Penny Arcade.
nope.
All right,
I do
Mike.
know, I know Penny Arcade at least.
And so Penny Arcade has the two main guys. Mike Krahulik is the artist of the two, and he's the one that got really heavy into D&D and went kind of crazy about it. He never experienced it. He played fourth edition. He made Jim Dark Magic and just went freaking nuts when it came to
Mhm.
Dungeons and Dragons. And his one of his, they had like a little office show that they had, kind of like The Office, I guess.
Yeah.
Where it's kind of like behind the scenes in their office, and he was getting together this giant D&D set that he was building out this giant dungeon, and they had this big, huge conference table, and this table had to be like at least 5 foot by 10 foot, if not bigger, and he covered the entire thing in in that kind of like pre-made dungeon tile 3D set.
Mhm.
Sorry, and so he built this whole set out, and it had like different levels to it, and like he had the stairs and everything, so you had to like climb the miniatures up, and it was crazy.
Yeah.
He added extra vines and like other things. I had like a little waterfall. He had a smoke machine that was piped through the entire thing, pumping out smoke all over the place. And that's just incredible.
It is.
Okay, then and this is the whatever the cream of the crop or whatever that weird French saying is. Um,
I don't think that's French, but go ahead.
like
Yeah, I think the saying you were looking for is the creme de la creme.
yeah. Um, I don't know what that means. So, anyways,
I
he
think it means the cream of the cream.
so he built into all these dungeon pieces a laser mirror maze straight out of like Indiana Jones.
What?
So you actually had to physically position the mirrors in the dungeon tiles and then turn on the laser beam at the beginning of the dungeon and bounce the thing through the entire dungeon
Oh, that's amazing.
to get
Yeah.
to the very end to unlock the final door.
If I played in that, I am creating a character named Aziz, and my only goal is just to stand at the front of the dungeon and turn that mirror. That's it.
So yeah, and then they kind of showed some of the game going off, and like they were trying to bounce the mirror and get it all working and stuff like that. Um, and it's just that's just too crazy.
Is there a stream of this or a video?
Yeah, on their site, it's archived. This was almost a decade
Yeah,
ago
I'm sure it
now.
would have been years ago.
Uh,
That's just fucking amazing.
this is the height of 4th edition, so
Oh well. Either way, I would still love to see that. Maybe
yeah,
I need to get online and actually look some of the. I know there's YouTube videos of people who are putting these things together. It just impresses me. Like I personally, me, I just want. I've talked about it before. I'd like just a large TV built into the table to use that
yeah,
as a map. That's a long term goal for myself. But just
yeah,
seeing the amount of work or money or both that people put into this hobby is just freaking amazing.
yeah. And that's ultimately what I would would like to do is actually get that same TV in a box kind of thing.
Mhm.
And one of the guys at Scarab actually was using one, and it was very big. It was just a TV, just on its side. There was no box around it or anything like that.
Sure,
I think
yeah.
the box really makes it and helps it not just look like a you just
Like a
threw this
TV.
together.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you're at a convention, unless you're hauling the whole table with you, that might be difficult.
Right, right, right. Um. So yeah,
And
it was very interesting to see that, and people can put some crazy stuff together, and ultimately, it's really just how much time do you have. If you're running a weekly game, like you'd have to build the castle, this whole dungeon, and then like keep it together because you're not going to get through it in one weekend,
yeah.
And I guess that's where he's lucky because he has all that office space.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I
but
mean,
like
if you have a basement that's devoted to gaming and you can keep your children and cats out of it, then it might
yeah.
work.
But I know like Chris Perkins with his Acquisition Incorporated stuff that he did, and a few other things. They build giant models and just kind of like have that stuff there. I'm like, here's the one model, is one diorama, and that's this encounter, and that's cool,
Yeah.
But ultimately, it all really depends on how crafty you are, and if you have a place to store it. Really, at the end of the day,
Storage is one of the big factors for something like that. That's the reason I like the idea of just the TV in a box.
yeah.
Uh, yeah, like when I started in D&D back in second edition, one of the books that came out was the Miniatures Handbook. And when I initially bought it, I thought it was going to be rules for how to run mass combat, like
Hmm.
war level combat, because that's what it was sort of pitched as. But then I get a hold of the book and I realize, oh no, it's just a book about miniatures. But some of the miniatures, like it's amazing to see these things. They're painted up awesomely, and people had built all of the terrain that they're standing on. So the pictures in this book were just wonderful. And yeah, 16-year-old me is like, dude, I really want to get into this aspect of the game. And then, of course, I never did because I'm ADD as shit. But I've bought minis over the years. I do have a number of D&D minis that I rarely ever use.
Hmm.
Whereas I know with you, you use miniatures for all of your D&D games if you can.
I do, and I have to definitely like go through and sort them. They're all been basically been they were sorted, and I've taken them out one at a time and like thrown them in like a we'll sort you later box, and never gone back to sort through everything.
Yeah.
So I have a bunch of those boxes. I have 2 boxes here sitting next to me that are just full of Frost Maiden miniatures that
Ugh.
I need to assemble into like the Frost Maiden set so I can bring that to me to Adventures League when I start running that again.
There you go. Oh, that might be an easy way of doing it. Rather than truly sort everything, just get a few boxes, label one of them Frost Maiden, label one of them uh, Temple of Evil, label one of them Owl Campaign, and then you'll have one that's sort of miscellaneous or general, which is all of your orcs and goblins and all the stuff that you're going to use constantly anyway.
Well, I mean, with the way they handle miniatures now, like each book, like he made each major set comes with like its own miniature release. So like Witch Hunt.
Oh, Witchlight.
Wild Beyond the Witchlight, that just had that campaign setting just came out, and there was a whole box set of miniatures just for that,
Mhm.
and that works pretty well. Um, so you can just buy a bunch of those bricks, and get all the miniatures you'll probably need. You may have to supplement them with some other ones, but it's pretty much complete.
So are they still selling them as random, random
Yes.
boxes? Okay.
So you can buy them individually, and it's like $20 a box for
Yeah.
5 minis. All right. Yeah. You're guaranteed one is at least large.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But usually those are the ones that are worth anything. It's usually the medium ones that are like rare, you know.
Right.
Um, so like I bought a brick plus maybe another half a brick of just the frost mating miniatures. I got Ariel, okay,
Yep.
but I didn't get the 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 version of her that's on the on the on
Right.
the
Yeah.
cover of the book.
Yeah. Yep.
That one miniature alone costs $60.
Wow. So I mean, honestly, it's WotC doing their money making schemes like they always do with Magic.
Well, they
It,
don't sell it individually. You have to buy.
yeah, yeah. No,
Yeah,
they've
yeah,
made it rare. They've intentionally made it rare so that people will continue to buy them, trying to get that single mini.
yeah. Um, but I got all the other like name characters that they have. Like
Mhm.
I got most of all of those. I mean, there's a couple that I don't have, but I looked them up in like Miniature Market, and they're like $3, $4, $5.
Yeah.
You know,
Just order the ones you need to complete the set.
pretty much. That's the point that I'm at. Except for the old crone, I ain't gonna buy her.
Not for $60, no. Isn't that the one that Dan printed for us?
Yes, but he printed it large, and technically
Yeah,
she's medium.
that
And
is
I
true.
have no problem using the large one. I really don't.
Yeah, yeah, it makes more sense anyway. And let's be clear, he printed that out for us because all of us were running it. Had nothing to do with us trying to collect all the minis and needing that one.
Yeah. Um,
He just did it because he's a nice guy.
so I'm just gonna use that one.
Yeah, yeah.
Just call it a day. Um,
I mean,
and
I don't have nearly the miniature collection you do, or even remotely. I own maybe 2 or 3 dozen miniatures. So if I'm running something, I'll either borrow other people's miniatures or I will just supplement. Oh, it's a medium-sized creature. Well, this orc is the human that you're fighting. Oh, this human's the orc that you're fighting. It's whatever I
yeah,
need. You make it
well,
work.
and that's how I got a lot of my collection was is I would just like go to the stores and like they usually have like a mini bucket,
Hmm.
okay, of like random assorted miniatures. Okay, I don't care if they're rare or uncommon. I just want bulk of
Yep.
minis. So like I'll take their tub and they're like, oh, 5 minis for $5 or some shit. And it'd be like 100 minis in there, but like I'll give you $50 for this, the whole thing.
There you
And they'll
go.
usually go, yeah, and I walk out with the whole thing, you know. Um, and like that's how I have. I think it's 12 Duragar Slave Masters, like
Nice.
a super common mini. You know what? When it comes when I need an army of Duragar, yeah, they're all Slave Masters. So they all have like chains and like a branding iron. All right,
Yeah,
but
nobody
you know what?
cares.
Nobody cares. I have 12 of them. They all look the same. That's what I care about.
Yep. They're all
Uh,
Duergar, and they're all gonna have the same stats. Works out.
yep. Whenever I need to have a Hobgoblin and plate mail, I have it right here in my hands. My Hobgoblin Talent of Tiamat. So war banner and all.
Yep. That
And
you
that
would have.
and
I would have needed that this weekend if I'd gotten to play.
I actually brought 3 with me, so you could choose. I ended up just giving the guy the one that's red. He got the red one.
Oh, okay.
It moved a foot faster than everybody else.
What? 1 foot faster?
Yep, it was red. He moves faster.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's the rule. Although
That's the
that
rule.
really that really only pertains to orcs.
Well, I mean, what's a hobgoblin but just a weird orc?
They are not even remotely like orcs.
I mean, they're goblinoids, aren't they?
Yeah, they are that.
Uh huh. And they're like reddish brown skin.
Yes, not green.
Right. And orcs can be green or brown.
Well, hobgoblins I tend to think of more as red or orange.
I mean, So they're cousins of the orcs. That's all you're saying.
Sure. Yeah, that works.
And goblins are second cousins.
Yep.
And kobolds are adopted.
And nobody likes bugbears.
Nobody likes bugbears. I didn't mention bugbears. Furry
Yeah,
bastards.
well, they're goblinoid also.
Are they? They have fur.
They are technically goblinoid, despite the fact that they look like Chewbacca or
Aren't,
Grizzlor. Like, yeah.
oh, that's the other thing too. I bought a lot of HeroClick figures too.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
rebased them.
Well, HeroClix back in the day was how people got their D&D minis, because HeroClix came out and they were plastic minis. And when they came out, if I recall correctly, nobody was doing plastic D&D minis. It was all metal. So getting a hold of HeroClix, I mean, it works. It was cheaper.
Are you thinking of HeroClix or there's another one?
I think it's the precursor to HeroClix. I can't remember what it was called, but it came out in the late 90s, early 2000s. I don't think it was HeroClix, because HeroClix is the
It's the one that has like the Marvel figures, and then you
yeah,
just
yeah,
click
yeah.
the
But
base.
there was a version before that.
HeroQuest.
No, it wasn't Heroes Quest. That's Games Workshop. Uh, precursor to HeroClix.
I know what you're thinking of. I have a bunch of them actually. I bought them all on clearance. I can't remember what it is either.
Yeah, I'll
But
try to figure it out at some point.
that's where I got all my Drow from. It was like a D&D board game, and like they weren't based on.
Mage Knight.
No, it wasn't Mage Knight I was thinking of.
Yeah.
This is an older product, but they weren't based on like the small, like little, medium-sized black discs. These were like hex based,
Mm-hmm.
and then like everything moved hex, and it was weird. But a good way to get minis, and actually it's still pretty. You can find it everywhere. Is the giant board games. So like there's the Wrath of Asharlon, Ravenloft,
Yeah. I have a lot of those. I own
Temple
3
of
or
Elemental
4.
Evil. Yeah, Assault on Giants. There's the Dritz one, Tomb of Annihilation. Yeah, a few others. All
Yeah.
of those come with like 50 miniatures.
Oh yeah.
So
I
I mean
have actually.
that's how
I've used the dragon from it before. For
that's where I got
running.
my Dritz from.
Yep. I stand corrected, though. It was not Mage Knight. That didn't come out till 2011. So there was a precursor to all of these that was early, I think late 90s or early 2000s, that had plastic miniatures.
Yeah. I found that Penny Arcade episode, by the way, while we were talking.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, just send it to me. I would like to check that out.
You have to link it though in the post.
All you have to do is remind me, and then I
This
will.
is your reminder, middle of the
Oh
podcast.
no, that's not how this works at all for an ADD brain, and you damn well know it.
I need your players to help me out here. Remind them
all of
before he
them,
publishes this.
all of them are fucking ADD, and I'm sure that they're going to help me publish this correctly when none of them are going to hear this until after I've published it.
I need you guys to go to our website right now, grumpydungeonsmasters.com, and see if he posted the link to the Penny Arcade video. If he didn't, you need to chastise him for at least an hour.
Yeah, okay. So after I posted this, I then get to go back and repost it. That's what I'm hearing here.
You can edit it and just add it back in.
Oh, so I saw you bitching about the people rolling dice out of their dice tray earlier.
Who's my boy? Me.
Who the fuck has a dice tray? Who does that?
What, use a dice tray?
Yes, who uses a dice tray?
Everybody, mostly.
I have one player that uses a dice tray, and it's the one person that hadn't been on the podcast because he's a little bit of he's a little different because nobody uses fucking dice trays.
No one doesn't use a dice tray. Most people have dice trays.
I've seen one person ever use a dice. Well, I say that I stand corrected. One of them has a dice roller. It's it's a tower, which is kind
that still counts.
yeah, okay. I can kind of get behind the tower because it's kind of fun. You know, I would love like a Castle Grayskull dice tower. That'd be fucking awesome. Where it comes out the front door.
I had 3D printed a dice box for my wife. That when you open it up, like it has like storage slots for the dice, but then like the storage slots magnetize together, and then it magnetizes into the dice tray itself, and it's a dice tower into a dice tray.
Hmm.
But yeah, everybody uses a dice tray. I mean, I've always used. I bought like a D&D starter set box. It's like a
Did
little.
people, did
Uh,
people not learn how to just roll dice without knocking shit over?
I
Like
don't know what games you've played
I don't
where
understand the concept.
no. I do not know what games you play where nobody at your table takes the die and doesn't roll it across the goddamn board, knocking over the fucking thimble, the 13 hotels, the chance card pile, and then somehow it bounces over to the sorry board and destroys that.
Sounds
You
like
know, I don't.
you play with a bunch of fucking savages. It sounds like
So I don't know what.
I've never had people do that.
I've never not had people do that and go, "Oops." You know how common that is. If you download the current Monopoly game that's on the Switch or the PC, the really cool one with all the animated characters, there is a counter in the game for how many times the dice knock over the tokens. Because even in the electronic version of the game, they can't stop people from rolling dice on the damn board and knocking over the houses and the figures. They
Okay,
keep a running total of that shit.
I
And so
have
you can't tell me that people don't do that all the time to everybody's annoyance.
I've personally never had people do that ever. Now, accidents happen. It has happened occasionally where a piece gets knocked over because dice, you're rolling them, they're going to go places. I've rolled a dice off the edge of the fucking table plenty of times, but
Hmm.
I've never, intentionally knocked over pieces. When playing D&D, you just kind of roll them in front of you. You don't have to roll them across the goddamn table. None of my players do that. None of the players I've played D&D with over the years do that.
But you got to think is that one person that accidentally does it. He accidentally does it because he put a little too much oomph into his 4.5 pound diamond chiseled extra heavy D20, and it just rolls across the board like Indiana Jones's boulder, knocking all the pieces over. And then they go, ha ha, that's a hit, right? Every damn time. No, it happens all the time.
You really
I have a simple
you were
rule.
playing with savages. You're
I have a
playing with
simple
fucking
rule.
savages.
You roll into your damn dice tray, your dice box, whatever. If it doesn't land in your dice box, it doesn't count. All right.
I am stating right now I will never have a dice box. Fuck that. I don't even want the fucking Masters of the Universe one that I was just talking about. I'm putting my foot down. Fuck dice trays. Roll dice like a normal person. Don't be
No
dicks.
one, no one is capable of doing that. You do understand,
Except every one of my players.
except the not the one that doesn't. Obviously.
Oddly enough, they're the most timid about rolling dice.
Uh huh. Uh
No, they
huh.
are. They are.
Hmm.
Yep. That's so weird. It's so fucking weird that everybody apparently has dice trays, yet don't ever see people with dice trays.
Happens all the time. You have no idea. It's so annoying.
I mean, honestly, it shouldn't be that hard. I think we just need to teach people to not roll dice across the freaking table. Just don't do
I
that,
mean,
people. How hard is this? This is like
I
shit you learn in third grade.
I'm gonna try to teach my daughter that. We'll see, I guess. All right. So we're getting close to the hour, and I wanted to circle back around to one of our original topics about the Rando the Rogue.
Yeah.
Okay. I generated a random fighter. I chose fighter. Okay. I had to generate a random fighter.
All right.
I'm gonna go through and read through its stats and what it gave me. All right.
All right.
This is Rando the fighter. He is an aquatic half elf. All right.
Okay.
with 17 strength, 13 dexterity, 15
My
constitution.
brain just went right out the window.
7 intelligence. '17 is trained in acrobatics, athletics, insight, nature, and religion.
Okay, that's the odd one out on that is the acrobatics. When you're already trained in athletics, why do both? Because they double over a lot of time.
Well, the reason why it's trained in acrobatics, I believe, is because it shows the martial archetype of. You want to guess?
Oh, I have no idea. I'm
He is an
waiting to hear.
he is an arcane archer.
Okay, okay, that all right. That makes more
That's
sense.
right. The arcane archer has 17 strength and 13 dexterity.
Yep. Yeah, that'll work out great.
Yeah. The arcane archer has 13 dexterity because we all know you need strength to use a longbow.
In third edition, there was the option to do that. You could have a what were they? I don't remember. There was a certain type of bow that would actually base off of your strength as opposed to dexterity. But this is not third edition, so that's just dumb and makes no sense.
It is wearing. It has a crossbow light and a longbow. It is wearing chainmail armor and has the spell Prestidigitation.
Well, everybody has that. If you're an elf,
Um,
you get prestidigitation.
he has a shield as well.
Oh yes, that's going to work great with the bows.
Yeah. Crowbar, a hammer, pittance, rations, rope, tinderbox, torch, water skin, and vestments, a holy symbol, and commoner's clothes. Oh, also a prayer book and 5 sticks of incense.
Oh, okay. So he's a religious man, obviously.
He's a religious arcane archer. He has arcane shot, enfeebling arrow, seeking arrow. He chose as an ability score improvement at level 4, dexterity and constitution. To bring his dexterity from 12
The
to
13.
13.
Yes, that's
And his
exactly what you
con
want.
from 14
To 15.
to 15.
He's he's planning the long game. At 8th level, he can do it again to get them both up that next step.
He has the background of a Luxon-born acolyte. I have no idea what that is.
I know what an acolyte is. I don't know what a Luxembourg is. Sounds very noble.
Pretty much, it's just he's an acolyte of some kind of deity or faith. Um, what is this random character generator?
What?
Why?
Yeah. What generator are you using?
The D&D Beyond character
Okay.
generator. Now you can toggle on feats and multi-classing if you like. I kind of want to see what it does for that. It might be a little too crazy. I don't know.
Give it a
Oh,
shot.
okay. Yeah, hold on.
Let's see what garbage we get this time.
All right, let's go. Randomize. Character level 5. Any race, any class. I'm going to allow multi-classing and allow feats. I'm going to call this Oh Dear God. So Oh Dear God is a loading screen. And Oh Dear God is a level 5 ranger. He's a forest gnome. He has 6 strength, 18 dexterity, 15 constitution, 16 intelligence, 12 wisdom, and 11 charisma.
6 strength. Okay.
He is trained in animal handling, athletics, for that
Yeah, to go with that.
+1,
Yeah, to give him that strength bonus.
the strong bonus,
Yep.
nature, and perception. He has the spells Minor Illusion, Alarm, Detect Magic, Disguise Self, Dark Vision, Pass Without a Trace, and Rope Trick. Neat.
Yeah. All right. That's rangery.
Yeah, and he's got the standard ranger equipment, so he's got longbow and all that good stuff. So nothing too crazy there. But
Okay.
what do you think this forest gnome ranger's background is?
Oh, he's probably some sort of a weird ass city dweller.
That's strike one.
Is he a what is it? Guild member?
Strike two.
Trying to think of the one. He's a merchant,
What kind of merchant?
a gem merchant, because he is a
No,
gnome.
he is a sailor, sir.
A sailor. Okay.
This is a forest gnome ranger who is a sailor.
It could be worse.
Let's see what his ranger archetype is. He is a gloomstalker, ranger, forest gnome. That is a sailor.
Good
What?
thing, good thing he has that dark. Good thing he has the dark vision spell.
Yeah, oh yeah. uh, oh my god, that is terrible.
I mean, I guess
I'm
he could
not,
do dark vision on somebody else, but yeah, that whole thing is just kind of weird. I have to
I'm.
do this though. This is my next character concept. I'm just gonna randomly generate and run with it.
Do you want a random one? I'll make you a random one right now. What level do you
No,
want it to be?
no, because I won't ever remember. Yeah, who knows when the hell the next campaign I'm gonna get to play in with a new character will be.
Let's do one at level 20 with feats and multi-classing. Let's go.
Do it. All right, last one. Last one. High,
Please no.
high level.
This guy. His name is Please Know Why. So this character, um, is. Oh God. Oh dear God.
No, that was the last one.
I'm gonna redo this one because I'm not counting blood hunters.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's perfectly fair.
Perfectly fair. Um,
Bloodhunter's
this
kind of
character
yeah. It's not really a real class.
this character's name is gonna be No Blood Hunters.
Yeah. There we go.
Allow multi-class, allow feats, and go.
I hope he takes like 4 classes. He's just 5 levels in each of them.
My name is absurd. All right, this one's a bit better. All right, so we have uh, the level 20 variant feral tiefling. Okay.
What the hell is a variant feral tiefling?
To be greeted with stares and whispers and suffer violence and insult in the street, you see mistrust and fear in every eye. This is a lot of a tiefling. Not all typhons are the blood of Asmodeus, some of the traits that differ from the player's handbooks. So your tiefling character may be different. His variant is that he has Hellfire. When he reaches 3rd level, he can cast a Burning Hand spell once per day.
Okay,
He didn't pick wings to be
that's
able to
that is
fly.
yeah, that's good. That's fair.
Okay, he picked Hellfire. Okay. So he is a level 10 artificer. Okay. And a level 10 cleric. He is an
Okay,
armorer artificer and a light domain cleric.
okay, all right. I'm getting behind this.
Okay. All right. Well, his stats are this is at level 20, so he's got all his level ups already. 13 strength, 14 dex, 15 constitution, 14 intelligence, 18 wisdom, and 13 charisma.
What's the artificer stat? Isn't it intelligence?
Yes.
Okay, so he's 18 wisdom, 14 intelligence.
Yes. All right. He has investigation, perception, sleight of hand, and stealth trained.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
for yeah, the stealth for the cleric of light.
He picked 2 feats. The first feat being Fey touched for charisma, so he can learn. So he learned Misty Step and Tasha's hideous laughter.
I mean,
Good
that's
choices.
yeah, those are good choices.
Bringing that Fey touch charisma from 12 to 13. And also you pick Dragon Fear. Increase your strength, con, or charisma by 1, and you can expend a use of your breath weapon trait to roar. forcing each creature you can hear within 30 feet to make a wisdom saving throw, and a failure the target is frightened.
Wait, a tiefling with a breath weapon? What the fuck are we even on about?
He didn't have breath. He can't use that feat. He doesn't. Can he?
I don't know. I
No.
don't have the book in front of me. I would hope that you can't even pick that. But if you can, well, that's just ridiculous.
I. Uh. So somehow from Artificer he can do it somehow.
Okay. All right.
But here's the thing. He didn't actually choose what stat to level up. So he chose the feat, but didn't actually choose what stat to level up.
Huh.
So he has
All
a
right.
missing skill point.
Okay.
All right.
Well,
Let's see what.
the smart thing would be Constitution because that gives him a 16.
So for spells, he chose the cantrips of Light, Ray of Frost, Resistance again, Sacred Flame, Spare the Dying, Thaumaturgy again, Thunderclap, and Toll the Dead.
Yeah. All right.
Gotta get that double resistance and double
Yeah.
thaumaturgy in
Yeah.
there.
Super important. Super important to learn the same cantrip twice.
So I'll just read off the unique spells: Burning Hands, Fairy Fire, Magic Missiles, Tasha's Hideous Laughter, Thunderwave, Darkness, Flame Spear, Mirror Image, Misty Step, Scorching Ray, Shatter, Daylight, Fireball. All right.
Well,
Hypnotic Pattern, Lightning Bolt, Guardian of Faith, Wall of Fire, Flame Strike, Scrying, and that is it.
okay.
There were no choices made for 8th, 7th, and 6th level spells.
Well, as a level 10 cleric and level 10 artificer, he wouldn't get those.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, obviously doing dual level casters is a terrible plan because you're not a 20th level anything. You're a 10th level, you get 10th level spells. So, it's not good. Don't do it.
So, what do you think this variant feral tiefling artificer 10 cleric 10's background is?
Ooh, what would be a good one for this? Oh, I hope they're a hermit.
Close. Think more city oriented.
I don't know what the city-oriented version of. Oh, a hobo. they're homeless.
He is an urchin.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Perfect.
Perfect. So yeah.
Because that all that artificer, the artificer that's urchin makes perfect sense. Or a cleric
I mean,
that,
he's
yeah.
he's a feral tiefling, I guess. No one likes them.
Yeah, he's been living off of nothing but rats for the last 10 years and whatever he can fish out of the river.
Oh man.
I love this random generator. This is going to be so much fun.
Oh, this is crazy.
We'll have to post a link for that as well.
I mean, just go to D&D Beyond, and when you go to make a character, it gives you the option to make your own, make a quick first level one, which is random, or just a straight random one. You just choose the requirements for it. So, I mean, anyone can do it. Just go to D&D Beyond, make a character.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah, a lot of fun.
We'll have to. That's how we're going to make Craig.
Oh,
we might have to set a couple of parameters for him. He has to be a bard, has to be a full orc. But other than that, it's a lot of it's free reign.
you hear that, Craig? We detect your future,
Yeah.
not you. All right, you can leave us now.
Hi, Craig.
So long. The grumpiness has been your friend. Now go and spread anger through D&D. No, don't do that. Be happy, be friendly, be awesome, but maintain the boiling hate that inside your heart. I don't know, buddy. I'm rambling at this point. Shut me up and end this podcast.